Okay, so I'm going to move these three, well, they're kind of store pigs now, I guess. I keep calling them the weaners, but they're kind of a bit beyond that now. So I'm just going to move them down a bit or across a bit. I haven't quite worked it out, but they've kind of, well, pretty much cleaned the ground they're on except for the gorse. I kind of don't mind a bit of gorse staying around, really. It's quite nice. They've stripped the bottom bits off it, which means stuff can kind of, like, well, sheep anyway, aren't going to get stuck in it should we ever want to put sheep back in here, although I'm kind of thinking of planting a bit more fruit, to be honest, so we might not do that. But in any case, they've kind of done their job, so we're going to move them on. Okay, so I've just moved these pigs onto some fresh ground. There's only 3 of them. It's not the biggest pen, but it's way more than they need to meet all the sort of free range standards. And because we're moving them pretty regularly, they regularly get to go onto fresh ground, and you know, it's really not an issue at all. And at the moment we're using them like a tool, so if we keep them in a smallish pen and then move them regularly, they'll clean the ground effectively for us, whereas if we put them in the whole area to start with, they'll go over some of it loads and loads and loads and clean some of it beyond where we need it, and some of it they might just ignore for quite a while. So this kind of works a bit better for us. So you can see I've just fed them on the ground like normal. Haven't put any bedding in here yet, and I haven't moved their water trough, but yeah, you see they're actually doing quite well, really, given they've obviously been outside their whole life, and you know, pigs do tend to grow slower outside, but they seem to be doing okay. And you see they're very dirty, but we'll obviously, you know, they're not bothered by that at all, and we give them plenty of bedding. Well, you'll see their bedding actually. You'll see their old bedding. So you can see that's the space where the house had been. You can see it's just built up above the ground level, with all of the straw and haylage that we've bedded them on. So we bed them on a bit of both, depending on what's around, and it gives them a bit of variety, and they kind of eat a bit. You see, actually they've almost eaten that little gorse bush out. I might actually pull that one out possibly, and that way we've only got these 2 here, and that's relatively alright, to be honest. It's not too bad, and like I say, it's nice for a bit of shade. And this this thick bedding bit, we'll probably just leave it for a bit, and then we might fork it out a bit, just to kind of level it a bit maybe. But yeah. So I need to just tread in all of the corner hurdles because they will play a bit. And they will get out if I don't. I just kind of don't want them getting out because we've got quite a lot of fruit bushes and trees. We haven't had masses of fruit so far, but you see we've got, well, these ones are called honeyberries. We've got 2 types of black currants down there, and then up here we've got 3 different types of gooseberries between 4 apple trees, and over there we've got a pear, a plum, a pear, and a damson up here. And that one's a little bit older. We put it in a year before the rest, and it was still a big field then, rather than a separately fenced area, so we kind of did this slightly rubbish job at fencing around it. But yeah, you know, it's sort of, it's all right. The Victoria plum, that one there, is actually coming on quite well. The pears seem to be struggling, but we kind of knew they'd always be a bit of a risk, to be honest. So we're a little bit high, a little bit cold, and a little bit wet for pears. But we kind of figured we'd give it a go. Always take them out and replace them with some plums or something. But these are gooseberries. I can't remember which variety this is. So tag on. It's been in a year or 2 now. So this is called an Invicta. So these 2 are Invictas, and these are the ones that seem to do the best. So I'm thinking we might put some. Sorry, rubbish filming. We might put some. Needs pruning quite badly though. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking we might put some. Maybe a couple of rows up the middle of the main fruit trees. It's going to be a while until they get shaded out, so I think that'll be alright. They're on quite big rootstocks for these fruit trees. You can see we've got a few moles as well, but you know, we're not going to ever bale this or anything, so it's not really an issue to us to have some moles. If there was like thousands in here, then maybe, but it's kind of 1 mole, so probably, or 2 or something. It's only a few holes, but I don't know, what's it, 10 mole hills or something, 12. We'll see, it might change, but at the moment it's alright. So the raiders are still eating. See, there's some rushy stuff against the fence over there, and I've kind of left that there for the moment. Well, we might move the pigs back up against the fence later on, I suppose, depending on if we need to move them too soon. We'll see how they do on this. I think they'll be alright for a little bit. So I've just put a high energy mineral lick down for these ladies, so they're all in lamb, so mix of singles and doubles still. We haven't actually split them yet. So purple dots for doubles, orange dots for singles. So we've got a bit of both. Ideally we would split them by now, but we're a bit struggling in that the shed's dragging on a bit, and we kind of wanted to get them back at ours, but we haven't really got a very secure yard, and some of these sheep are pretty wild, so we just did it with hurdles. They would just get out. Anyway, so stood outside for a bit. It's quite wet, this field, actually, even at the top here, so it must be worse at the bottom. But yeah, that's the way it is, I guess. But they're all doing all right, I think. There's a couple that are a little bit lame, but on the whole they're alright. Kind of need to help to back them, I think, next week or the week after. Which is just sort of like a booster vaccine against clostridial diseases. But you can see they're all doing alright, but it is a bit wet. Well, they seem to be enjoying the mineral hit. I think it's just a bit of a novelty at the moment. They will share a bit, I think. But at the moment, a few of them are quite excited. Did you just give him a kiss?
Yeah.
Why?
Why not? He's cute.
He is a nice little guy, isn't he? Yeah. So a nice pile of wieners, freshly tagged, tattooed and wormed, ready to finish. See, they're literally all sleeping in a massive pile.